Hello everyone, so today I am here to talk about having or getting a zero TBR. I feel like this was a bigger topic a couple years back. Like there was this whole thing like 0 by 16 or 0 by 17 or 0 by 18 and stuff like that of everyone trying to get small TBRs. And then like this whole wave thing came through of people being like, I like my big TBR and like all of this stuff happened. But basically, I have always been a person who did not have a big TBR. Like, I have never had a TBR more than 25 books, maybe, like 30 tops. I don't remember when my TBR has ever been 30, but it might have been 30 at one point. And recently, I have basically gotten it down to 0. And I say basically because I don't think I'll ever have, or maybe I will. Honestly, I might very soon have 0 books on my TBR, but I don't necessarily always want 0 books on my TBR. I do like having a couple here and there, and as well as the fact that I will still 100% be buying books by anticipated authors or just anticipated books releases and stuff like that. And I always like to have a couple of books on hand to be able to pick from when there's like a readathon or just my library books didn't work out, stuff like that. So basically a 0 TBR. And today in this video I will be discussing how I got this TBR, why I want a 0 TBR, and what that kind of means for my reading, my channel, and all of that kind of stuff. So first off, like I said, this is not like 100% a 0 TBR. This is, I'm only talking about physical books firstly. I still have, I think at this very second, two books on my physical TBR, and that is Words of Radiance and Frostblood. I think that's basically it. As well as this does not count ebooks. I still have about 20 ebooks on my Kindle, which that is also kind of feeding into the fact that like I like having a couple of books on hand, but like if I don't know what to read next or if I didn't get a chance to go to the library or something like that, I can just pick up my Kindle and pick out a book and read it, kind of thing. I also like having Kindle books because I like reading on my laptop during class because I'm a horrible student. And I also definitely still have books on my audiobook kind of TBR. I request books from my library on audio that sometimes they were physical before when I actually had physical TBR, and sometimes they're ebooks that I have that I want to listen to on audio, and also sometimes books I am just like, I would never buy this on ebook or physically, but I'll listen to it on audio, that kind of thing. So this is physical books. I finished my TBR. So the first question is, why do I want a 0 TBR? The first and biggest thing that I have been talking about for years is that I want to use my library, and I have been using my library for the past couple of months because I basically have had under 5 books on my TBR for the last like 2 or 3 months-ish, and I have been using my library a lot. And this, I just really want to use my library because I read way too many books to keep up with my reading in buying every single book that I read, as well as I unhaul way too many books to be buying them. Like, it is so pointless to me seeing just how many books I unhaul that I spent money on. Like, wait, behind me, those 2 stacks of books, I just filmed an unhaul video. Getting rid of that huge stack of books, and that's not in like 6 months or something, that's in like 3 months. I just don't need to be buying books. It's also because my shelves are 100% books that I love. I do not keep books that I don't enjoy. Like, I know some people really love having a bookshelf of every single book that they've ever read, but I am personally just not one of those people, mostly because I don't have the space, and I also really like looking at my bookshelf and just being really happy seeing all of these books that I loved. So on the shelf, I only have books that I rated 4 or 5 stars. A couple of 3.5 stars maybe here and there, but for the most part, it is completely 4 and 5 star reads. And even with just keeping 4 and 5 star reads, I am running out of space. I am totally running out of space on these shelves. I've had to start stacking. I don't have space in my apartment for another bookshelf. This bookshelf here is completely manga, and then this bookshelf is books, and that is all I really have because the bookshelf I have in my room is K-pop albums and journals, and I'm running out of space, basically. I don't have the space to be buying tons and tons of books. I also feel like this kind of using the library and not having a huge TBR that I feel intimidated by, because I am definitely a person who I get overwhelmed when my TBR is too big. Like the few times that my TBR has been like 15, 20 books, I get so overwhelmed because I feel like I'm just like, like, it's kind of one of those things, like, you have so many options, you just don't want to do any of them, kind of, and I would just always get so overwhelmed if my TBR was more than, like, 10 books. I just could not handle it, and I feel like not having a big TBR and not having a ton of books that I feel like I have to read because I bought them helps me with my goal of reading books that I want to read. One of my biggest goals for this year in my New Year's bookish resolution thing was to read books that I want to read, because I feel like people, including myself, we get so wrapped up in hype and what should we be reading to get subscribers and what should we be reading to be relevant and all of that kind of stuff, and it definitely was affecting my reading. Last year was my worst reading year. I might have read 102 books, but I did not enjoy so many books because I was forcing myself to read books I didn't care about. I was forcing myself to read books and finish books that I didn't want to. So I feel like getting books from the library is going to help me with this reading books I want to read, because when I want to read a book, if I suddenly go, I really want to read, I don't know, Game of Thrones. If I'm like, I really want to read Game of Thrones, I get it from my library, I sit down, and if I go, I hate this, I close it and I return it. No money wasted, nothing like that. And then if I'm like, oh my god, I love this, it didn't cost me anything to get it from the library, and if I really want a copy, I buy it myself a copy. Especially because I actually find it has been saving me money doing this, like buying only books I've already read and really loved, because it kind of gives me like, I'm not like rushing to get it. Like if a book I really enjoyed, like I read Book of M recently and I really enjoyed that and I want a physical copy for myself. I put it on my thrift books wish list. Currently it's only like new for $23 and I'm like, I'm not gonna buy that. That's so expensive. I've already read it, so I'm not in a rush to get it. So I can put it on my thrift books wish list and sit there and wait until it drops in price. So the next question is basically, how did I acquire a 0 TBR? Because I know so many people have the goal to have 0 books on their TBR. And my biggest thing is that I just read a lot of books. Like I said, I've never had a big TBR. I have never had more than 20. I'm like, I want to say 30, but like, I don't remember when I've ever had 30. I've never had more than 20-25 books on my TBR. So that first off makes it really easy. And then when I decided I want to do this, I just stopped buying books. Like, I also unhaul a lot of books. Like, I don't keep a book on my TBR that I'm not interested in. If I'm like, I bought this book, sure, but I'm never going to read this, let's be honest here, I just get rid of it. Like, I don't have any qualms about that. Like, yes, it's annoying because it's like, wow, I spent money on this and now I'm just gonna get rid of it without enjoying it. I am over that, and I'm hopefully now that this whole thing is done, like, I'm done doing that. But that's my whole thing, is if I don't want to read a book, I don't read it. I unhaul it. And then I always have focused on reading my TBR. Like, I don't really, like, so many people are like, oh, I need to focus on reading my TBR. I don't even really know what that means. I've always just read books on my TBR, like, not that big of a deal. And yeah, I'm also just a fast reader. Most recently, if you're an audiobook listener, like I've talked about recently, I listen to audiobooks while I'm at work because I have time to, and like driving and stuff. I don't listen to them as much as some people, like every single second of the day that I have open. I don't listen to audiobooks, but I do listen to them. I get audiobooks of books that I have physically. Like, very easy to do that. I just, hey Panda, do you want to say hello? Hello, little panda. Mwah. Want to say hello? Oh, look at you. You're so pretty. You're such a good boy. Oh my goodness. Okay, bye panda. Yeah, I would get audiobooks of books I had physically on my TBR, and that definitely cut through a lot of them very quickly. So my next thing is basically, when am I going to buy books? And I've basically already said this, but I will be buying books of authors that I love that are coming out with new books. Or even if they have old books, I would still buy them, kind of thing. If I am enjoying the author, like, I don't know, Brandon Sanderson. I love Brandon Sanderson. I buy all of his books. I'm gonna continue buying his books. I will also obviously be buying anticipated releases. You can bet I'm dropping $30 to get Killing Commendador the second it fucking comes out. Like, duh. I will also continue buying books of series that I really like. Like, I currently have Frostblood up there by Emily something Blake. If I read that first book and I really like it, I will go out and buy the second and third book, or however many books are in the series. And I also will buy books that I read that I really love. That is what I've done recently in my previous book haul. You guys saw so many of those. I bought Evelyn Hugo, I bought Neverworld Wake, I bought recently The Oracle Year. Those are all books that I got from the library or Scribd or whatever, really enjoyed, and then wanted a copy for myself. And I bought a copy. So the next question is, how does this affect my channel? I really don't think it will. You will still get book hauls because, like I said, I'm not stopping book buying. I'm just not buying needless books. You will also probably be getting new videos of library hauls. I used to do library hauls all the time, but when I used the library years ago, but I'll just start doing library hauls rather than the book hauls. It's still books, still a book haul. They're just from the library. And as for my reading, like, especially since I bought that software that I can like put pictures of books everywhere on the screen, like, it's not gonna affect the quality of my videos because I can't like hold up a book if I like read it from the library, something like that. And yeah, I mean, I really don't think it's gonna affect my channel at all. So anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video about me finishing my TBR. It's obviously very, very exciting. If you guys have any questions or tips for other people in finishing or lowering your TBR, definitely leave them down in the comments below. We can get a discussion started. Kittens are jingling over there. Also, I want to make an announcement on this video that I am really close to 5,000 subscribers, and I'm really, really excited about it, and I would like to tell you guys that I am going to be doing something very special for 5K when I do reach it, so you guys can look forward to that. It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a really fun time. I also suggest following me on Twitter because I definitely update Twitter before I update YouTube, so go follow my Twitter. Anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed this discussion video, and I love you all, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye!